Hi everyone, I'm Poppy from Shanti Bee. Thank you so much for joining today, and thank you to Active Newcastle for hosting us. I'll be guiding you through a Vinyasa flow class today, and we'll be focusing on opening up space in the hips. For the class, you will need 2 bricks and a strap. If you don't have those, and maybe a scarf or a dressing gown belt. And we're going to start in a comfortable seated position. So coming onto your mat, you can either sit directly on the mat, or if you're feeling a little bit tight in the hips, then I do recommend sitting on a brick. This is going to help to tilt the pelvis. It'll also help you sit taller. So just making sure that you're nice and comfortable. You can rest the hands on your lap or maybe down on the knees, and closing down the eyes. And before we get started, I'd just like to remind you that this is your practice. So if you do need to rest at any time, then please do. So just allowing yourself to feel settled on your mat. Noticing how you're feeling today. Any areas of tension in the body. Bringing your awareness onto your breath. So breathing normally, but just beginning to notice any movement that the breath is creating in the body. So the gentle rise and fall of the belly and the chest. And slowing down each inhale. Slowing down each exhale. So you might want to count to about 5 or 6 as you breathe in. And the same number as you breathe back out. And bringing the right hand onto the belly, the left hand onto the heart center. Inhaling into the belly, so feeling it rise and expand. Exhaling out, feel the belly fall away. Breathe the belly. And exhaling out to deflate. Breathing in deeply. And exhaling fully. Another deep belly breath. Now this time, draw your breath up into your chest. Feel the ribs expand. Exhaling out from the chest and then from your belly. Breathing in deeply again, draw your breath all the way to the top. And exhaling to release. Another deep belly breath. Draw the breath all. Notice the breath at the back of the throat. And exhale to release. And once you've finished your exhale, you can bring your hands down onto the knees, and we'll just give the shoulders a shrug. So drawing the shoulders all the way up towards the ears and releasing them all the way back down. So moving with your breath here, inhaling to lift the shoulders, exhaling as you release. Just a few more times, releasing any tension. And then coming into stillness, keeping the eyes closed. We're going to bring the hands into prayer at chest center. So you can set an intention for your practice today if that's something that resonates with you. Maybe you want to dedicate your practice to someone. Maybe there's something you're wanting to work on this week or let go of. It can be absolutely anything. Just something that you can hold in your mind. And flickering the eyes open. We're going to take the hands up above the head, gazing to the ceiling. Interlocking the fingers and pushing the hands away. And we're just going to begin to move from side to side, maybe making some circles, just easing into the upper back. And then taking the hands back up towards the ceiling, so gazing up. So we're beginning to stretch out through the front of the body. Releasing the hands down towards the knees. Palms are facing up. We're going to do this another time. So breathing in to reach up. Interlocking the fingers, pushing the hands away from each other and beginning to work into your upper back, moving from side to side. Taking the hands above the head and bringing the hands down towards the knees. If you're sitting on your brick, you might want to remove it. So you're sitting directly on the mat. We're going to take the right hand onto the mat behind the right hip, the left hand onto the right knee. Now, as we inhale, we're going to lift up through the center of the body. So we're sitting really tall. As we exhale, twisting over to the right side. So you're almost using your twist your body open. Breathing in to sit tall and exhaling as you twist. Another inhale. And coming back into the center, having a shrug of the shoulders. And we'll do that on the other side. So this time, left hand onto the mat behind the left hip, right hand onto the left knee. Breathing in, sitting tall. Exhale, twisting to the left side. And just making sure here that you're not just twisting from your neck. So you don't want to just be looking over your left shoulder. You want to be twisting from the whole spine. Breathing in deeply. Exhaling as you twist. And coming back into the center, having another shrug of the shoulders. Just releasing any tension, maybe moving the head from side to side. And then bringing the soles of the feet together. So you're letting the knees fall out to the sides. If you'd like more of a stretch, you can walk the feet in towards the body. And if you'd like less of a stretch, you can walk the feet away. So just find what feels good for you. As you breathe in, sitting tall, reach through the crown of the head. As you exhale, begin to fold forwards, and we're leading with the chest. You can either hold onto your feet, or you might want to press your hands down into the mat, releasing the head. So you're gazing down towards the feet. And just noticing any sensations in your body here. So you might be able to feel the inner thighs stretching. So we're opening up through the hips. Try and keep the spine quite lengthened, so don't allow yourself to collapse and round. Keep a nice lengthened spine. So one more deep breath in. And as you exhale, walking the hands back. So you're lifting yourself up. Tabletop position, so coming onto your hands and knees. Now checking in with your alignment here. So you want your hands to be shoulder distance apart. The fingers are spread wide. The shoulders are stacked above the wrists. Knees are hip distance apart. Hips are above the knees. Tops of the feet press into the mat. We'll begin to move through a few cat and cows. So as you breathe in, lower the belly, taking the gaze up. Exhale, rounding into the spine, tucking the tailbone and gaze between the knees. Inhaling deeply, lower the belly, shining the chest forwards. As you breathe out, rounding into the spine, really trying to push the mat away here. So you're hollowing out the armpits. Breathing in deeply and exhaling out. So you can either continue to move through your cat and cows, or if you'd like to make any other movements, then please feel free. So you might want to rock your hips from side to side. You might want to make some circles with the body. Rocking forward. It's anything that feels good to release any tension. And we'll move top. Warming up the wrists. So turning the hands, fingers face the long end of the mat. Gently beginning to sway from side to side. And then turning the hands again so that the fingers are facing the body. Now this is quite an intense stretch, so if this doesn't feel good for you today, just bring the hands back to where they were and continue to rock from side to side. But if the hands feel okay when they're turning around, we're just going to begin to very, very slowly move the body backwards. And you should feel a stretch running up the wrist. You don't have to move back too far to feel this stretch. And then turn the hands over so the palms are facing the ceiling, keeping a gentle bend into the elbows. And fingers face the top of the mat. From here, extending the left foot back. So the toes are tucked on the mat, and we're going to lift the left foot away from the mat. Now we want the leg to be roughly in line with the body, so you can have a little look back, make sure the leg isn't too high. Make sure your core muscles are switched on. Extending the right arm out in front. Fingers are spread wide. The toes are flexing down. So it's if you're pushing your foot against the wall. Breathing in deeply. As you exhale, rounding into the spine, draw the elbow to the knee. Inhale as you reach out. Exhale as you draw everything in. Breathing in deeply. And exhaling out. One more time, breathing in. We're just going to pulse here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, coming back into stillness. Now you can either stay here, or you could bend into your left knee, reaching back with the right hand and find the foot. To your hand, lifting the knee, gazing over the right shoulder. One more breath, and release. Making any movements you need. So you might want to take a few cat and cows, maybe rock through the hips, shaking out the wrists. Setting yourself up for the other side. So this time, right foot back, toes tucked on the mat. Lifting the right leg away from the mat. Checking that it's roughly in line with the body. Foot is flexed. Extending the left arm. Breathing in. Exhale, round into the spine, elbow to knee. Inhale to reach. Exhale to draw everything in. Inhale. Exhaling out. One more time, reaching out. Pulsing here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then coming back into neutral. So either staying here or bending into your right knee. Left hand goes back, find the foot, kicking into the foot, lifting the knee high, gaze over to the left. Another inhale and release, making any movements you need. And then we're going to come into a child's pose. So bringing the big toes to touch, knees nice and wide, sinking the hips back towards the heels, reaching the arms forward and pressing the forehead into the mat. So just taking a moment here, we're just gently working into the hips, stretching the glutes, lengthening the spine. And making your way into your tabletop position. Tucking the toes, taking a deep breath in. As you exhale, lifting through the hips, coming into your down legs here. So your knees, twisting your body from side to side, shaking the head or nodding the head. And coming into stillness. So don't worry if your heels aren't touching the mat. Concentrating on keeping the spine lengthened. We'll take a deep breath in through the nose, exhaling out through the mouth. Another time, inhale, breathing out. And checking here that the feet are hip distance apart, hands are shoulder distance apart. On your next breath in, reaching the right foot to the ceiling. Hips are square, toes are flexing down. Stepping the right foot to the top of the mat, lower the left knee. So you might need to use your hands to help you get your foot there. Heel toeing the right foot out to the side, bringing the right hand onto the inside of the foot. And we're just going to rock forwards and backwards here. So we're easing into the hips. Maybe making some. Just trying to keep the head and the chest lifted if you can, so the gaze is forwards. Lovely, and then coming into neutral, so shoulders above the wrists. Turning the right foot so that the toes are facing about 2 o'clock. Rolling onto the outside edge of the foot and pressing the right hand onto the inside of the thigh. So we're twisting the body open. Either staying here, or if you'd like to go a little bit deeper, you could bend into your left knee, reaching back with the right hand, find the foot, and draw the foot in towards the body. So you should feel a nice stretch in your left quad. Another deep breath in, and beginning to release. Taking the right hand down onto the mat. So we're going to move a little bit deeper into a lizard pose here. So you can either stay on your hands, or if you prefer, you could lower down onto your forearms, or maybe using your brick for a little bit of height. Tucking the left toe and lifting the left knee if you want a bit more of a challenge. If not, you can just keep your left knee down on the mat. Relaxing the head so you're gazing towards the back of the mat and focusing on your breath. And if you are feeling a little bit tight in the hips today, then I recommend keeping your right foot at that angle, so as if the toes are facing 2 o'clock. So one more deep breath. And making your way back up onto your hands. Now from here, we're just going to heel toe the right foot back in. So you should be framing the foot. The hips should be nice and square now. So imagining that your right foot and your left knee are on 2 train tracks. The right knee is stacked above the ankle. And we're going to set up for a low lunge. So on your next breath in, begin to engage through the glutes, lifting through the arms, maybe sinking a little bit deeper into the hips. So feeling that stretch in the left quad. Reach the fingertips up towards the ceiling. Finding something, taking deep, steady breaths. And reaching forwards with the left hand, reaching back with the right arm. So you're coming into another twist. Reach through the fingertips. One more inhale. And then sweeping the left hand to meet the left hand. Both hands down onto the mat. Tuck the left toe, lift the knee away, and we're going to step into a downward facing dog. So lifting through the hips, let the head hang heavy. Just taking a moment here. Next, inhale, left foot to the ceiling. Stepping the foot to the top of the mat, lower the right knee. So heel toeing the left foot out to the side, bringing the left hand onto the inside of the foot, making any movements that feel good to ease into your hip space. So rocking forwards and backwards, making circles. Keep the head and the chest lifted. And coming into neutral, so shoulders above the wrists. Turning the left foot to face about 10 o'clock and rolling onto the outside edge of the foot. Press the left hand onto the inside of the thigh. So again, we're twisting the chest open. Maybe staying here, or option to bend into the back with the left hand and draw the foot in towards the body. Keep drawing that left shoulder back. So you're getting a nice twist through the spine. Releasing the right foot down to the mat. Left hand comes to the floor. So we're going to move a little bit deeper again into this pose. So you can either stay on your hands or maybe lower onto your forearms or onto your brick. Releasing the head. Option to tuck the right toe and lift the right knee away from the mat. Noticing any sensations in your body. So where are you feeling this stretch today? We'll take one more inhale and one more exhale. Making your way back up onto your hands. We're just going to heel toe that left foot back in. So you're squaring off the hips. Knee is above the ankle. Setting up for your low lunge. So beginning to engage through the glutes. Next, inhale, reaching through the arms. Fingers spread wide, maybe bending that little bit deeper. So you should feel a nice stretch in your right quad this time. And reaching forwards with the right hand, reaching back with the left hand. So you're coming into your twist. Keep reaching through the fingertips. Stay really active. Lovely. One more deep breath. Left hand reaches forward to meet the right hand. Both hands down to the mat. Tuck the right toe, lift the knee away. Now from here, the mat. So pushing off the ball of the foot. We're coming into a fold. So let the body hang heavy. You may want to have a sway from side to side. You can keep a nice bend into the knees here as well. Bring your belly to rest onto the thighs. having a shrug of the shoulders. And then very, very slowly peeling up into standing. So let the arms hang heavy. The head comes up last. Once you're at standing, just making sure you're at the top of your mat. So taking a step forwards and either keeping the feet at hip distance apart, or you might want to bring the big toes to touch and the heels slightly apart. The arms are down the sides of the body. Palms are facing forward. So we're coming into mountain pose. Closing down the eyes, reconnecting with the breath. Steady inhales and steady exhales. If the eyes are closed, beginning to flicker them back open. Next breath in, reaching the hands to the ceiling, gazing up. Exhale, bending into the knees, take the hands down to the mat. Inhale to lift halfway flat back. So hands can rest on the shins, maybe on the thighs. Draw the shoulders back. Exhaling, press the hands down. We're going to step back into a high. In your high plank for a moment. So making sure that the bum isn't too high. We want to be pushing the mat away so much that the armpits feel a little bit hollowed out. Just holding it for 2 more breaths. Stay long. 1 more inhale. And as you breathe out, lower the knees to the mat, untucking the toes, lower the body, elbows squeeze in. Breathing in, lifting the chest. Keep the lower ribs connected to the mat, shoulders draw back away from through the hips, coming into your child's pose, and we'll just rest here for a breath or 2. You might want to have a rock through the hips and rocking through the forehead, so just massaging out the body. Meeting in downward facing dog. So resetting yourself with your hands and with your feet. Let the head hang heavy. Push the mat away, lengthen through the spine. Next breath in, right foot to the ceiling. So hips are square, toes are flexing down. Bending into the right knee. So as if we're trying to draw the right foot over towards the left bum cheek. So you're almost trying to stack your hips on top of each other. Stay quite even through the hands. So you don't want to be rocking your weight over onto your left hand. You're pressing down firmly through the right hand. And squaring off the hips. So coming into your 3-legged dog. Stepping the right foot to the top of the mat. Now from here, we're going to spin the left foot. So toes face the long end of the mat. Checking here that your front foot is in the same line as the arch of the back foot. So we're setting up for warrior 2. Next, inhale, reaching up through the hands, gazing down the middle finger. Staying nice and strong in the legs, the glutes are engaged, knee is stacked above the ankle. Just coming back to the breath, making sure that your back arm is strong as well, so you're not letting it drop. Reaching forwards, flipping the palm and reversing the warrior. So we're going to slide the left hand down the left thigh, taking the right arm over the head. But the knees stay where they are. So the legs stay exactly in the same position. Knee is above the ankle. We're just trying to stretch out the side of the body. And coming back into your warrior 2. Take both hands down to the mat. Frame the foot. Come onto the ball of the back foot. Stepping into your high plank. We're going to lower the knees, untuck the toes, and lower the body with control. Inhale to lift the chest. This time we're going to lift the lower ribs away from the mat. So you're coming into your cobra. There's still a gentle bend into the elbows. Glutes are engaged. Lifting through the hips, coming into your child's pose. Resting here for a moment. And meeting in your downward facing dog. Making any movements you need. It does take a little while to warm up in downward facing dog. Next, inhale, left foot to the ceiling. So hips are square, toes are flexing down. Bending into the left knee. So this time we're drawing the foot over towards the right bum cheek. Stay nice and even through the front hands. Through the front of the body. Just trying to stack the hips on top of each other. Squaring off the leg, stepping the foot to the top of the mat, spinning the right foot, so toes face the long end of the mat, so setting up for your warrior two. Again, just checking that the front foot is in the same line as the arch of the back foot. Next breath in, reaching up through the arms, bending deeply into the front knee. Just coming to your breath. Make sure the glutes are engaged, stay really strong in the legs and in the arms. And just watching as well that your front knee isn't collapsing inwards. We almost want to be drawing the knee over to the left corner. Reaching forwards, flipping the palm and reversing the warrior. So sliding that right hand down the right thigh, stretching out the left side of the body. One more deep breath. Exhale, coming into your warrior two, hands to the mat. Stepping back into your high plank, moving through your vinyasa. So lowering the knees, untuck the toes, lower the body. Inhale to lift into your baby cobra, maybe your full cobra. Lifting through the hips, meeting in your child's pose, resting here for a breath. And coming in to your downward facing dog when you're ready. Next, inhale, right foot to the ceiling. Stepping to the top of the mat. So this time we're going to stay really high on the ball of the back foot. Make sure the knee is above the ankle. Next, inhale, lifting up into a high lunge. So we're reaching through the fingertips. Stay nice and strong in the legs. And then opening up into your warrior two, gaze down the middle finger. So again, make sure the back foot, the toes are now facing the longer end of the mat. Lengthening the front leg. And we're going to spin the left foot now. So the toes are facing out. So heels are facing in, toes facing out. Reach the arms above the head. Breathing in deeply. Exhale, bending into the knees, cactus the arms open. Breathing in, exhaling out, inhaling deeply, breathing out. So coming into your goddess. One more time, breathing in, exhaling out, maybe sit a little bit deeper, staying nice and strong, lovely, lengthen through the legs and through the arms. Spinning the left foot, so toes face the long end of the mat, opening up the arms, taking the hands down to the mat. Stepping into your high plank, making your way through your vinyasa, meeting in downward facing dog. Taking a moment here before we do the other side. Next, inhale, left foot to the ceiling. Stepping to the top of the mat. So staying really high on the ball of the back foot, setting up for your high lunge, engaging through the glutes, lifting up through the arms. Nice and strong in the legs, bending deeply into the front knee. And then spinning the right foot. So you're opening into your warrior two. Gazing down the middle finger. And lengthening the front leg. This time spinning the right foot, so toes are facing outwards, heels facing in. Taking the arms above the head. Breathing in deeply. Exhale, bend into the knees, cactus the arms open. Inhale to reach. Exhaling out. Inhale. Exhale. One more time, breathing in. Exhaling out, maybe sit a little bit deeper. Lovely, reaching up through the hands, coming into your warrior two. So this time spinning the right foot, toes face the long end of the mat. Both hands down to the mat. Stepping into your high plank, making your way through your vinyasa, and then we will meet in a child's pose this time. So taking the knees nice and wide. You might be able to take them a little bit wider now that you're warmed up. If you need to have a drink, then now is a good opportunity. So allowing yourself to sink deeper into the mat.
And noticing what parts of your body are connected with the mat. So your hands, your forehead, your knees, your shins, tops of the feet. Just allow yourself to feel heavy. Breath, resetting. And walking the hands back. So you'll be sitting on your heels. So you will need your bricks for this next exercise, or your books, whatever you're using. So brick on the outside edge of the right hip, the other on the outside edge of the left hip. So we're going to come into dancing camel. So keeping the knees nice and wide, pressing the left hand down into your brick. On your next inhale, lifting through the hips, sweeping the right arm over the head, palm faces down, and feeling the stretch down the front of the body. Releasing yourself down towards the heels and switching sides. So right hand presses down, breathing in, lifting through the hips, left hand reaches over the head. And lowering the body. So we'll begin to move a little bit more fluidly with the breath now. So pressing the left hand down. Inhale, lifting through the hips. Exhale to lower. Switch sides, breathing in. Exhaling out, switching sides. One more time, breathing in. And exhaling out. This time we're going to come into another child's pose, but keeping the knees together, extending the arms down the sides of the body, and pressing the forehead into the mat. You might want to press your forehead onto a brick if you need a bit of height. So feeling the spine begin to round. And then making your way into your tabletop position. So if you're using a brick, just popping it over to one side, setting up for downward facing dog. So tucking the toes, deep breath in. Exhale, lifting through the hips, push the mat away, let the head hang heavy. Now from here, we're just going to walk the hands backwards. So we're coming into a fold at the back of the mat. Keep a nice bend into the knees, bring the belly to rest onto the thighs, head is heavy. Allow your body to sway gently from side to side. You might want to take a hold of your elbows. And then peeling your body up into standing. Having a shrug of the shoulders, and we'll move into some balances. So coming into the middle of the mat, or you can stay at the back of your mat if you prefer. Feet are hip distance apart. Bring the hands onto the hips. Now we're going to come into a tree pose. So transferring your weight into your left foot, placing the right sole of the foot either on your ankle, maybe on your calf, or maybe on the inside of your thigh. So finding something to focus on, maybe on the floor or on the wall. And once you're feeling nice and steady, you can bring the hands into prayer at chest center. If you'd like to go a bit further still, reaching the hands up towards the ceiling and opening them up really wide. So it's if you're holding a big beach ball, dropping the shoulders away from the ears. And if you're finding this quite easy, if you want even more of a challenge, then you could always try closing one eye or maybe both eyes. It makes it a little bit trickier. Have a go. Lovely. And then bringing the hands into prayer. Releasing the foot off the standing leg, pressing the foot down into the mat, having a shake out and bringing the hands back onto the hips. And we'll set up for the other side. So this time, transferring the weight into the right foot, peeling the left foot up. So again, maybe on the ankle, maybe on the calf, or perhaps on the inside of your thigh. Just make sure that you're avoiding your knee. You don't want to be adding any extra pressure onto the knee. finding something to focus on. Remembering to breathe. It's quite easy in these balancing postures to end up just holding our breath. So remember to focus on your breath. Deep breath in and deep. Maybe bringing the hands into prayer at chest center. If you'd like more, extending them up towards the ceiling, opening them wide. And then maybe having a go at closing one eye or both eyes if you want an extra challenge today. Just one more deep breath. Don't worry if you're a little bit wobbly. Bringing the hands into prayer, releasing the foot down, and we'll just have a nice shake through the legs. And then bringing the feet a bit wider than hip distance apart. So heels are facing in, toes are facing out. Bringing the hands into prayer at chest center. And we're going to bend into the knees. So we're lowering the body down towards the mat, coming in to Malasana or yogi squat. So you might want to have a rock through the hips here. Just easing into it. And then coming into stillness. Now there is an option to sit on the brick if you want a bit of extra support. It's quite a nice option to take. You'll still get a really nice opening in the hips. So as you're pressing your hands together, your elbows will be pressing onto the insides of the knees. So feeling the elbows almost pushing the knees that little bit more open. And we're going to close down the eyes. Make sure that you're sitting tall, so you're reaching through the crown of the head. Lovely lengthened spine. And taking 3 deep breaths here. Engaging the pelvic floor muscles. Creating lots of space in the neck. Once you've finished your final exhale, you can flicker open the eyes. If you're sitting on a brick, just popping that to one side. And we're going to make our way down onto the mat, having a shake through the legs here. Rocking them or shaking them out, anything that feels good. Okay, and then we're going to bring the left foot to an angle, so as if the foot is facing 10 o'clock. Pressing the right sole of the foot onto the inside of the thigh. Sitting nice and tall. Make sure you're flexing the left toes back. And we're just going to fold forwards here. So walking forwards with the hands. You can keep the chest nice and open, gazing forwards. Or if you prefer, you might just want to release the head. So see what feels best for you. Just make sure that you're actively flexing the left toes back. Feel the stretch down the back of the leg. We're opening up through the hips. Just 2 more breaths. And walking the hands back, so you're sitting tall. Pressing the right hand down into the mat on the right side of your hip. Now from here, we're going to lift through the hips. Take the left arm over the head. So you're coming into a supported side plank. And lowering the body, nice and slowly, back down to the mat. This time extending the right leg out, so toes are facing about 2 o'clock. Flexing the foot back towards you, pressing the left sole of the foot onto the inside of the thigh. Sitting tall as you inhale. Breathing out, folding forwards, walking the hands forwards, either keeping the spine lengthened, the gaze is forwards, or maybe just dropping the head so you're gazing down towards the mat. Staying strong and active in that right leg. Noticing any sensations in the body. Just 2 more breaths. Making your way back up. Left hand down outside of the left hip, lifting through the hips, right arm over the head, and releasing the body back down. Fall out to the sides. So it's the same pose that we did at the beginning of the class. We'll just be moving a little bit deeper into it now that we're nice and warmed up. So either drawing the feet in towards the body if you want more of a stretch. If you want less of a stretch, walk the feet away. So find what works best for you. Holding onto the ankles, maybe the soles of the feet. As we inhale, sitting tall, reach through the crown of the head. As we exhale, folding forwards, leading with the chest. So the gaze is always forwards. As you breathe in, seeing if you can lift and lengthen through the spine. And as you exhale, folding a little bit deeper. Another breath in, lengthen. And as you exhale, beginning to fold. Now you can either begin to let gravity pull you down. You may want to use your breath as a tool to move deeper and deeper into the pose. Another nice option is to take your brick or your book and just pop that on the soles of your feet, resting the forehead down. So there's a few different options to play around with. You might want to walk your hands out in front. See what feels good for you today. And we'll be here for 3 deep breaths. Remember, you can ease out at any time if it does feel a little bit too much for the hips or on the inner thighs. Final exhale, lifting the head, walking the hands back. Removing your brick if you were using one. We're just going to guide the knees in together. Give yourself a hug. So wrap the hands around the shins, press the forehead down. Allow your spine to round. Lifting the head. Taking the hands behind the knees, and we're just going to rock up and down the mat, massaging out the length of the spine. Making your way to lie down on the mat. So you can just have a rock through the hips here, maybe rocking through the head. And then draw the knees in towards the chest. We're going to take the knees nice and wide. And squeezing them in tightly. So as if you're trying to draw your right knee towards your right armpit and the left knee towards the left armpit. Rocking from side to side, back. And coming into happy baby. So taking a hold of your big toes or the sides of your feet, shining the soles of the feet up towards the ceiling. So this time we want to be pulling down on the feet as if we're trying to draw both knees towards the armpits, pressing the lower back into the mat. You can either stay in stillness or you may prefer to have a gentle rock from side to side, maybe lengthening your legs out one at a time. Anything that feels good to help finish off your practice. Just a few more breaths. And bringing the feet together, bringing the knees together, rocking from side to side, moving the hips. And then extending the legs out in front. So bring the feet to about mat distance apart. We're going to come into the final resting pose of Shavasana. So resting the arms down the sides of the body, the palms are facing the ceiling. The chin is slightly tucked. We want to keep some length running through the spine. You can close down your eyes, allowing yourself to feel really heavy against the mat. Let the feet fall out, let the fingers curl in if they want to. And coming back to your normal breath. And finding your body's natural rhythm. Noticing any sensations in the body. Maybe you can feel a gentle tickle of energy in the palms of your hands or in the soles of your feet. Take this time to absorb all of the energy that you've built up in the class. Taking this time for deep rest and deep nourishment. Knowing that at this time, everything is as it should be. There's nowhere else to be. There's nothing else to do. It's taking these final few moments for yourself to reset and recharge for the rest of your day. Deepening your breath. Noticing the rise and the fall of the belly and the chest. Wiggling the toes. Wiggling the fingers. Gently rocking the head from side to side. And then pointing the toes to the top of your mat, reaching the arms over the head, full body stretch. Inhale deeply. Exhale, release into the mat. And taking the knees towards the chest, rolling onto the side of your body. And you're just going to rest here for another breath or two. And making your way into your comfortable seated position, keeping your eyes closed if you can. Resting the hands somewhere comfortable, so either on the knees or on your lap, making sure that you're sitting tall. And just noticing how you're feeling now compared to at the beginning of the class. Maybe you're feeling a bit more relaxed, energized. Maybe you're a little bit less achy if you had any pains in the body. And we'll take a deep breath in through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Another time, breathing in, exhaling out. And bringing the hands into prayer at chest center. Just taking a moment to bring your intention back into your mind if you set one. Just holding it there. And thanking yourself for practicing today. Energy. And we'll lift the thumbs up to meet the third eye, the center of the forehead. Take a small bow towards your practice. And flickering the eyes back open. And that is the end of our Vinyasa flow practice for today, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope to see you soon.